Other thoughts on the impact of data into a pipeline? Carolyn, I see you nodding.
Yeah, this happens a lot with us. A similar example that we have is we have information about people. Since we're a reference publisher, we have a lot of articles written about people. And then our vocabulary system has information about those people, the authoritative name for those people, as well as some other metadata about them. And one of the pieces of metadata would be birth date or death date. Death date changes over time. It might not be populated, and then at some point it will be populated. Right now we're having a discussion because we're a large organization, and you know, my team is usually plugged in when we're building something new. Just the way that our organization is working right now, and where we've decided to invest our efforts. But I recently became aware of an opportunity where we could actually automate something related to updating death dates that's currently happening by copy and paste and a bunch of manual methods. This sort of thing happens all the time, though. We have to solve that problem for new product development too. When we're building something new, we realize, just as Aaron mentioned, that we have metadata from multiple sources and we have to merge them together. I had somebody recently ask me, when we do transforms, content transforms, why we don't just use XSLT, because that's one way of doing it if you're heavy into XML data. But because not all of the metadata that we're gathering is actually in XML, that complicates matters. You have to actually look outside of just that one technology to actually pull together all of these pieces and parts that you need to actually create a new whole. So that's where we end up writing. You know, we have to use other scripting languages and other technologies to actually pull all of those pieces together. But yes, that is a recurring theme, and I think it's hard to get away from that, because not hard to get away from that, but hard to ever see the nail put in a coffin on that problem because there's so much content that's already been created. And even once you've handled that in your own house, you're dealing with content out in the wild a lot of the time that you're also trying to integrate with your own, and it may have been handled differently.
The potential impact on data on content sets is even within a single content domain potentially infinite, isn't it? I mean, so I don't know if we ever get to see the death date of that problem, because they're always going to have that challenge of, well, is there other ways we should be appending data to content in real time? So whether it's external sources of data, or whether it's actually incrementing our content ID with data from another source. One example would be we're starting to work on valuing content at the asset level by appending metadata at the asset level. So as there's an engagement with a particular content ID, we add an increment of interest, or this generated an entrance, or this generated a whatever. So the content is accruing data, and an engineer has to be there to define the field and catch the data and make sure that the system of record is able to insert it, and that gets carried with the content record if it moves in XML. So it's, you know, there's engineering between data and content, I think, kind of all the time. Any other thoughts on that, Ulrika?
Yeah, that nicely also shows the voyage that we are all taking with our profession, because like our professional career is changing from where we were 20 years ago when we started writing content in Word or FrameMaker or PageMaker. And now we are thinking about systems, interfacing, semantic web ontologies. So the whole business is changing, which is a challenge, but it's also big fun. It's a lot of fun to do that and to develop with the industry. But I've seen, and at the conferences when we talk about intelligent content, I think we are talking about stage 4.0, and a lot of people are still stuck in 1 or 2 phases, and that is difficult. We need to bridge that gap for them, both with education, with papers, with new vocational training courses, university training, stuff like that, because it's for us as a service provider, and maybe also for you in the companies, it's difficult to get the right people for the job. You have to also give that to the university so you get them on the market in time. We need more and more people. We have this age problem. People are leaving the companies and their knowledge goes with them. So we have to enable the young people and in the right areas. So this goes on and on. And on the one hand, I'm happy about it. On the other hand, we need to make sure that we get the people for the job.
To listen in on the full Roundtable conversation and others, plus get access to more exclusive insight about omnichannel customer experiences, join the content order for free at simpleA.com.